Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Sun is rising, feel the warmth on my face. There's a lot to do now, but there ain't no race. I sip my coffee, I'm feeling fine. No need to work yet, I'm gonna take my time. It's a brand new day, gotta take it on my way. Gotta take it on my way. It's a brand new day. Gotta take it on my way. Gotta take it on my way.
Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women to own businesses from across the country. My name is Kimberly McLemore, and I am your host. With us, we have TinaMarie Rodriguez, founder and owner of Open Heart. Welcome, TinaMarie. How are you?
Good evening, Kimberly. Thank you so much for your invitation.
It's my pleasure to do this. I'm actually been looking forward to this. We've been kind of going back and forth a little bit for several months, it seems like. So this is a great opportunity. And I'm definitely looking forward to learning more about you and your business. And I also know that we do have a special guest on, which I will have you introduce him in just a second. But if you could just do me a favor and tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Certainly, with great honor. I am a God-fearing woman. I am a mother of 3 beautiful children. I am an awareness advocate in both my Open Heart to Open Hands Community Resource Center. But what I'm most proud of for your listening audience is I am now an independent distributor for the Nspire Network with the campaign of Now We Know, which simply is bringing awareness to young girls and women in regards to their health.
Okay, all right, great. And it sounds like we have a whole lot of great things to talk about this evening. Tell me a little bit, though, about where you actually from. Where are you located at?
Yes, I am from Brooklyn, New York, the best borough in the world.
Yeah, I could hear that accent in your voice. That's why I was asking.
Yes, I'm very proud of Brooklyn. Very, very proud.
Well, that's good. You should
I was
be.
born and raised in Brooklyn.
Okay, all right. So you stay home, and now you're giving back to the community in a different way.
In a different way.
That is awesome.
I was formerly a teacher.
Okay.
For the New York City public school system. I was also a very proud childcare owner as well.
Okay.
And then I decided was involved in going into community and being an advocate, for people who lost their voice.
Okay, perfect. Well, we do have something there in common. You just talked a little bit about being a childcare owner. I used to have 2 licensed childcare centers. I'm originally from the Davenport, Iowa area, which is in the Midwest. So it's really great to meet somebody else who understands that platform as well. So before we kind of dive into it, would you like to introduce your guest that you have on with us tonight?
Yes, I would. And I thank you so much because he is a phenomenal leader. He is a single dad raising a beautiful 15-year-old. He is my senior partner, proud of it. He leads by not just words, but by example. He's building an organization both nationally and internationally with Nspire Network. He's a visionary founder of the company, and he's also an awareness advocate. And being a gentleman, he is fighting for women's rights as well in health and wellness. Thank you for the pleasure of introducing him, none other than Pastor Clarence Thomas III.
Hello, sir. Pastor.
Hello. Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. How are you doing this evening?
I'm having a beautiful, blessed day. How about yourself?
Doing well, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on my show tonight. I want you to know that, you are definitely a special guest because I normally don't have men on my program. So, because it was requested, I'm actually really excited to hear a lot more about the both of you and how you've forged this group together here and what you're doing in the organization that you guys have come together on. So, Pastor Clarence, could you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself beyond what this great introduction was already about you, but go ahead and give us a little bit of information.
Yeah, I sure will. I am a native of Atlanta, Georgia. I've been here all my life, so I'm an original Georgia peach. I went to college here as well, graduated from Clark Atlanta University with a degree in business administration, concentration in management. I've been a VP of a local flooring company that my dad started back in the 70s. And I did that for several years with him. I've also been blessed to have a pretty varied background as far as work goes. I mean, I've done anything from telemarketing to working in the Atlanta public school system as a teacher. I've been serving as an assistant pastor in a couple of ministries around the metro Atlanta area, helping other ministries to grow their ministries, a lot of grassroots ministries I've been involved with. And I've been very blessed to be a part of the direct selling industry for a little over, I'd say about 7-8 years total now combined. Okay. And it's very awesome to be partnered with the company that we're both a part of now, Nspire Network, and the Now We Know campaign.
All right. Yeah, I've heard a little bit about Nspire Network, but I want you to both tell me a little bit more about Nspire, and then we'll kind of dive back into the Open Heart and to Open Hands organization in a few minutes. But I want to learn a little bit more about Nspire Network and what it is that they do. So
all right.
Well, first.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'll jump in there. Nspire Network is a direct selling company. Oftentimes you hear direct selling, network marketing, multi-level marketing kind of thrown around, but they're talking about the same industry. And the founders of our company came together to not only offer products for men and for women that would actually help them in some different facets of their health, but also wanted to provide an opportunity where people would have a chance to actually earn what we know in the industry as true residual income. The thing about residual income is we know that residual income is when you do something one time, but you get paid over and over and over and over and over again. And unfortunately, a lot of folks in our industry have found themselves, connected to companies where it was more internal sales and the company depended on the internal distributors to provide the volume, and the products were priced very high, jacked so high that they really didn't have true customers. And so our founders identified products that are highly residual, that some things that people are going to use whether we talk to them or not anyway, because they already use them, and that will provide a strong, serious, true residual income opportunity for anyone who wanted to take that route. With that, the Now We Know campaign came out of one of our most residual products, which are women's sanitary pads. And the Now We Know campaign is N-O instead of K-N-O-W. And the reason that is because we believe that education is the key. We lead with our campaign because the awareness campaign that we have is legitimate. It's true. There are a lot of campaigns out there that bring awareness but don't bring any solutions. And so our founders knew that if we had something that could address an issue that women deal with, specifically with some of the issues that they deal with on a month-to-month basis, and that being tied to the design of some of the products that are commonly purchased off the shelf, if we could address those issues, bring about the awareness, and at the end of that, offer a solution and a change of something better, we knew we had something that would definitely help people, and also those who want to start their own business, give them that chance to earn legitimate residual income.
Okay. So tell me now, with this process, how does one person get started? Now, is there an actual fee that they have to start up with to get the business going? I'm sure that there are obviously some background going on, where you help the individuals grow and so forth. But tell us how you actually jump into the business, and then explain to me also some of the health products that you guys that your organization offers.
Okay, we'll do. We'll do. So as far as getting started in the business side, the financial commitment, there is a $35 business licensing fee that licenses an individual or an organization to be a distributor within the company. And that just licenses them to share the products, do demonstrations, do presentations and trainings, develop a customer base. Now, with that, there's also package levels based on how a person wants to come in. And I always tell people, you need to search your heart and figure out what is resounding with you personally, what you feel you're gravitating to. And it's based on your goals. So our entry-level package is the Builder Pack. That's a $99 pack. And right now, because we're in our launching phase, all of the packages are sanitary pad only packages. On down the road, they're going to integrate some of the other natural supplements that we offer. But right now, they're pad only packages. So the Builder Pack is $99. That gives you a person 24 packs of 2 of our sanitary pads. There's the Achiever package, which is $299. That gives a person 70 packages in 3 styles of our pads. And then you've got the top package, which is the premium package, which is $499. That gives a person 121 packs of the 4 varieties of our pads that we offer women. And then that, along with the licensing fee, gets a person in the business.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
No,
Now you asked. Okay, so you asked the products. Our flagship product is our Cherish brand sanitary pad. And when I tell you this pad, so many people are coming to call it the most comfortable sanitary napkin on planet Earth. I absolutely mean that. I mean, we've got so many testimonies of young girls and women who are saying it's so soft to their skin that they forget they have it on. Because one of the issues we address is the irritation that a lot of women feel with some of the products that are on the shelf. Those products having more of a synthetic plastic outer layer is kind of rough. So a lot of the women and ladies saying that, when they come off of their cycle, they're finding themselves needing that time to recuperate from the irritation from those pads. And then you've got the moisture issue that we address. Our pad has a patented vegetable-based polymer absorption system, which can hold 300 times its own weight. And when we do our demonstrations with a competitor's pads, the ladies are always blown away when they see that when you lay a napkin or a paper towel on our pad, there's not going to be any moisture on that napkin. But when you lay it on a competitor's pad, unfortunately, it ends up wet. And that, along with the fact that we've got something called negative ions and far infrared and nano silver in it, those things are helping women to experience pain management. We've got ladies that are saying that negative ions are helping them to experience anywhere from a reduction all the way to an elimination of their cramping pain. Because negative ions, they call it the vitamins of the air, negative ions have been found to help relax the uterus, to alleviate, to slow it down or stop the uterus contracting, which slows down and in many cases stops the cramping from happening. And then, of course, it eats away at bacteria, negative ions do. And the fact that our product is so breathable, unlike what's on the shelf, usually has a plastic backing, women are finding the breathability is helping them to have a reduction and in many cases an elimination of an odor. I know for myself, being a dad, I'm out at events with my daughter. She's 15. She's a cheerleader. We're at a game. We're at a social. I'm at a ball game or something. And sometimes, unfortunately, we get a smell of a woman's odor. And, there's nothing I could do about it before, but now at least I've got something I can offer other women to say, hey, we got something that maybe can help you out. And again, women are just getting their confidence back now because it's really working for them in ways they could not imagine.
Mm-hmm. Well, it
Right.
sounds like that product should have been out about 20 years ago, okay, when, when I needed it. So, but there's so many, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm not trying to make light, of what it is that you're talking about, but it's very true that women consistently go through a lot of struggles when they're having their month to month. And me being as a woman, I've gone through that process, been there, done that, and unfortunately have had to lose a part of me, a part of who I am as a woman because of the fibroids. We never can understand what really goes on with women and what we're dealing with from the inside out, and we don't know whether it's a cause of the pads or whatever else that's been
Right.
used, that we've had to use throughout the years.
Right.
So I find that kind of interesting that there's this new sanitary napkin. So I'm wondering what other products in the future that this organization is going to be providing for women to continue to make them keep them healthy. Because there's always that question that I've always asked the doctor, well, why can't anybody explain to us about why do women of color seem to have the fibroid issue? And, we're constantly having all these problems and the pain and so forth, but nobody can seem to explain. And I'm wondering if a lot of these things come as a part of that. I'm not sure, but it's just, a curiosity that I have at this point.
Well, what we tell folks to do is to do the research on your own. I mean, there's a lot of information out there about what goes into creating the pads, what goes into the design of the pads. For one thing, there are a lot of companies that use what they call a wood cellulose membrane, which is where they take wood pulp and they take it through a process to make it fibrous to where it looks like cotton, kind of feels like cotton, but it's actually wood. And in order to make it white, it goes through a bleaching process. What a lot of women don't know, by the time it gets to you at the store shelf and you purchase that product, that bleaching process makes it give off a harmful carcinogen called dioxin, Dioxin. And, we think about before pads and tampons existed, women used to use cotton rags. And from what I was told from other older women, that's where they got the term being on the rag. It was actually cotton. And you didn't hear about women having so many fibers, being able to keep their baby, hold their baby to term, and all this other things. So, we introduce a cotton layer. That's why women a lot of times forget they have it on. We introduce the breathability, and with our natural algae strip, with the negative ions, the far infrared, the nano silver, all of that. I mean, we're helping women to be calmer, cooler, more collected because it helps with balancing their pH. I mean, there's just so many benefits that women are experiencing now with the Cherish brand, and that's why we call it Cherish. We want to let our women know that we're going to offer you something because we cherish you as women, and we want to give you the option to have a choice to cherish yourself.
Wow, yeah, that's powerful, and it's very informative. And I never, like I said, never heard of this organization, never heard about the products, and it's very important to definitely keep that information out there and spread the word. So, TinaMarie, can you add any more information about the products and beyond the obvious reason of why you decided to be a part of the network? What are the reasons did you decide to get into this? TinaMarie? Did we lose her? No,
I don't know.
she's still on. That looks like she's still on. TinaMarie? Well, maybe she went on mute for a little bit because she's been pretty quiet in the background. We're going to keep talking until we can get a hold of her and see what's going on, because I still have her on as being connected with us here.
Okay, well, sure. And I know you were asking about some of the other products that we have. We have some all-natural supplements. We call them nutraceuticals that were formulated by two doctors from the West Coast. They're urologists, and one of them actually is a cancer survivor. And when he survived cancer, he made it his quest to develop an all-natural supplement that could help men to either avoid the onset of prostate cancer or to give them natural ingredients that would allow their body to begin to heal itself from the effects they've been dealing with as far as prostate cancer. That product is called Max Life. We also have a testosterone called Empower Plus, and Empower Plus finding is a lot of men now, in their 30s, are finding themselves having lower testosterone levels, so their energy is low. A lot of men, it's hard for them to maintain a muscular look. They find themselves getting a little bloated or gaining extra fat because the foods they eat are injected like swings and things that promote estrogen building in.
I'm here with you. Can you hear me okay? Because I'm getting a little interference on your end.
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
Okay.
And we still got TinaMarie on the line as well. I'm sorry, but we need to figure out what's going on with her. Her call dropped. There we go. So now finally, let me try to chime her back in. So just give me a second here. We're going to still just line open. I don't know. Start this here. I think this has been really conversation. So if listeners would just be a little patient with us, we'll get TinaMarie back on all here. Their call definitely did drop. So. Let's see if we can get her to answer here. TinaMarie, are you there?
Hello?
Hey, there we go. Finally got you back. We was asking you some questions and you weren't there. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I need you to do me a favor, and your call here, so you're kind of muffled there a little bit. I'm getting a lot of interference.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, you don't have to speak as loud. Just kind of bring it down just a little bit so I can hear you a little bit better.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Pastor, you still on?
I'm still here.
All right, sir. Okay, just we're going to backtrack just a little bit. TinaMarie, we were talking a little bit about the products. The pastor was giving me some in-depth information, but I had stopped him for a second because I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about why you decided to get involved with the Nspire Network in this new campaign. And, besides the obvious, that you're a woman and so forth and you want to provide health, what other reasons made you decide to jump on board doing this Nspire and this new product that they have for women?
I decided to do that way before I saw the product because of the Now We Know mission of stopping women and young girls suffering in silence. I am a proud mother. I have a beautiful 14-year-old girl. I have goddaughters plus nieces. And for the young girls that I taught in school, in my childcare days, and I thought of them. And I also thought of myself, of what I went through with my flow, and to be an activist in helping make them make better choices, helping them make better choices, rather.
Okay. And that's definitely a good reason. And like I was telling the pastor earlier that, some of my personal experiences have been definitely on the negative side. And during the time frame that I was coming up, back in the 60s, 70s and so forth, and going through that process of being a young woman and trying to understand, why we had to wear these items, and, the pain is just ridiculous every month. And then it never seemed the pads were never good enough for me, because I was just constantly miserable going through that process. And so unfortunately, as I've gotten older, I ended up losing everything, but at the same token, I'm still here. So that is a blessing within itself, and not having to deal with that. But I was talking about the fact that I'm wondering if a lot of those things were connected to why women, especially women of color, have so many problems with fibroids. I'm just out of curiosity. It's probably some definitely research that's still probably being looked at, but I think it's fantastic to hear about the products that you guys have and what you guys are doing and working with this organization. And Pastor, you were still trying to explain a little bit about the other products. Would you like to continue with that?
Sure, I sure would. So we were talking about the testosterone booster, Empower Plus, and so that's helping men to boost their testosterone levels to a normal level, and it allows them to sustain and maintain that, so it can help them out with that issue. Now, something for men and women, we've got something called Total Recall, which is a memory booster, and we're finding that a lot of folks, more than I even thought, have an issue with remembering things, whether it's short term or long term. So we've got an all natural blend that helps folks with remembering things. And then for our married couples, we've got Sweetest for her and Taboo for him, which is sexual energy and enhancement supplements, kind of a spinoff from that Sade song Sweetest Taboo. Mm-hmm. So we've got a definite line of product. That's our entry-level launching line. And of course, down the road, we're going to evolve as a company, introduce other products. But this is what we're launching with at this point, and we're very excited about it.
Right. Well, and like I said, the thing I heard you talk about is the fact that the products that you guys are that the organization has are products that people normally use anyway. And the good part about them, though, is that you're very health conscious about it and understanding what needs to be changed for individuals so that they can feel better through their daily lives. And, just sitting there thinking about when you were talking about something as simple as losing your memory, whether it's short term or long term. And I think a big part of it, because people are constantly so busy and they got so much on their mind, it's very easy to overlook things. I know I find myself running ragged all the time because I've got so many things going on that I'm like, okay, what did I just say 2 seconds ago? I can't remember what I'm doing from one point to the next because it seems like everything is moving too fast. So it would be really great to learn more about that booster, because I think that's a pretty interesting piece as well. But what I want to do now is, TinaMarie, I would like to hear more about the Open Heart to Open Hands and what inspired you to get into that business.
Open Heart, Open Hands Community Resource Center is very dear to my heart, just as much as Nspire Network is. Open Heart, Open Hands Community Resource Center was birthed out of my childcare business, which was J&T Angels Playhouse. It came about because I had a lot of parents, unfortunately, that had to take their children out because they were no longer working. They were let go because the company was downsizing, or it was just they weren't able to afford it. And as you being a child care owner yourself, you can relate to that. Mm-hmm. So I then decided when I did close my child care, I said, well, I still want to help my kids, but I also want to help the family as a whole. And to do that, Open Heart, Open Hands was birthed because I saw a lot of families go through losing their job, companies downsizing, companies relocating. And I said, I want to provide a place where the kids can still come, but the families, be it the father, the mother, the aunt, the uncle, who was ever the significant adult in that child's life, to gain more skills, to gain more skill set. And that's how my Open Heart, Open Hands Community Resource Center was born, I should say.
Right. Wow, that's I'd love to take on that. Listening to how you got started, and you're right, being in the childcare industry is very unique and different. And normally, it's one of those industries where if you don't have a heart, you're not going to make it. But also at the same time, it's like when you have so much heart, it's very hard to watch your children and your families get up every day and then walk away and things aren't changing for them. Things are continuing to get worse, and it's very hard to see your children leave. So I understand that pain and wanting to continue to help those families. I know when I had my 2 licensed centers at the time, I actually worked with the state of Iowa. So I had a deal with them where I took in all the children that nobody else wanted. And that was probably the hardest thing that I ever dealt with, because to see those children, be in the environment that I was trying to create for them, and then when they left, they were no longer a part of that environment. And they had to go back to those broken homes, those broken promises, those things that, the mothers, normally it was just the mothers because there was no father involved in their lives, that, they were struggling every day to do, and unfortunately the mothers weren't always able to give them everything they need to have. So those extra programs and those extra items that I would provide them was something I would give from my heart. It wasn't about the money because I knew they didn't have the money. And so,
Exactly.
but I definitely, applaud you for taking the opportunity to, not leave these parents and these children hanging, once these parents lost their jobs and they could no longer afford, to the child care itself. But explain to me a little bit about what your community center offers.
Well, we're not a full community center just yet, but we're going to get there. With God's help, we are definitely going to get there. And Nspire Network is a catalyst for me to push that into a full-fledged community center. We're a resource center where we, give parents resources that normally they wouldn't be able to find. Grants. We connect with different political offices. We also go to the borough office, Borough Hall we have in Brooklyn, and he's a phenomenal borough president, Eric Adams, to help and connect our parents and Brooklynites to different resources within the community, be it public assistance, Job Corps, different things that they normally wouldn't be able to find on their own, or just, are too, maybe not prideful, but they're beaten down. And we bring the resources to them. I maintain workshops and will continue to do that.
Okay. So basically your organization right now, because you're still growing and still trying to provide services, you're connecting with other resources throughout the community. Like you said, a lot of these parents wouldn't have the wherewithal or even know where to start. And I think that's a great benefit for them. And that's really what my organization is truly about too, is where the Women's Small Business Initiative is about connecting those resources and realizing that we don't have to reinvent the wheel, and that there's so much that we can give to each other without having to feel like you've got to go through a multitude of different places to find that one item. And we all know, of course, yes, we have Google and all that, but it can be so overwhelming for anyone to have to go out and start searching for things that they need to have, especially when they're in a traumatic situation. Nobody in their right mind has the time to deal with that when they really need something right away. So that connection is definitely important in your community, and it's great that you're doing that. But talk to me a little bit about some of the challenges that you've been facing with trying to build this organization.
One challenge is getting it off the ground for someone other than myself and a small circle.
TinaMarie, I can barely hear you. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. I guess the biggest challenge for me was getting other people on board to see the same vision that I had for the Community Resource Center. It became, let's be our brother and sister's keeper. Let's help them. Let's give them a hand. That's why it's called Open Heart, Open Hands. Let's walk with them, because we've been there. Maybe we're one paycheck away. And it was getting, other people to catch the vision. And slowly, step by step, people are catching the vision. That was the biggest challenge. And of course, as you know, maintaining funding to keep it running.
Right. So are you turning into a nonprofit organization, or are you already a nonprofit organization?
We're a nonprofit.
Okay. Yeah, so that definitely the opportunity to be a nonprofit is usually an easier path to go and to get more people on board. So being that this is the challenges, what other groups or other organizations are you working with, and how is it to where, what are you doing, I guess, to really get people out there to understand, how are you sharing this information to really get people to be more inclusive of, hey, we have this organization, we have the need here within our community, and, we're trying to reach out to you people, but, how are you getting that out there, and what's the feedback been beyond the fact that people are finally getting, because we all know as business owners sometimes that, people aren't going to always see your vision, and it's okay that they don't always see it, but getting them to realize the benefit of that, of the vision that you have, is really important. So how are you getting that out there?
We've went to a lot of community awareness fairs out there through flyers, tourists, food experts, dinners, luncheons, block parties. old-fashioned block parties that we have in the city. Going to our local churches, our local mosques, temples, because we're non-denominational. We accept everybody.
Are you using any of the social media platform at all?
Not yet, because our website is still under construction.
Okay. So even if you don't have a website, are you utilizing, I mean, we all know most of our parents, even if we, it's probably not the most important thing to us, but for most parents, having using their cell phones as their platform, using Facebook as their tool and other platforms is usually a very quick way to reach out to people, and is actually sometimes one of the easier ways. And sometimes I know as when we're business people, we get kind of overwhelmed with having to use our social media aspect as a way to reach people. But that seems to be the number one way. I've had to learn that myself when it comes to being a business, because I'm very old fashioned when it comes to, I want to be able to stand in front of the room and in the crowd and just talk to you. Well, today things have definitely changed, and you have to have both. Even as far as going and doing videos and having to do this podcast program, it's amazing how business has changed. And so sometimes you have to be very flexible to use the platform that you have, and on top of using some of the old-fashioned ways, like you said, just getting out in the community and reaching out to people, I think is really an important way to enhance the business and enhance the community about what it is that you're trying to convey to them and how important it is they need, because I'm sure there are definitely people that probably connect with you right now and don't really even understand thoroughly what it is that you do for the community, and how any tab of information that they can provide and share about your organization and even maybe want to help. I think that would be a great way to start and get the information out there. And also the other good part about this is that having this great interview, you will be able to utilize this interview over and over and over on your platform so that people can hear your story. And I think that's an important piece for you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I will begin to do that.
Thank you. You're welcome. It's my pleasure to do it. I just have a couple more questions. So, being that you're very new into this business and there's a lot of things that you've learned in the process of starting a business, what would you share with any woman who decides that they may want to go into business today? What advice would you give them?
I would say pray and take that leap of faith. Do not look back. Follow your dream. Pursue it. And prepare yourself. There will be obstacles, but they can be overcome. And to build relationships, because every good business starts with good relationships.
Absolutely. Great advice. Yeah, because, like I tell people every day, you can dare to dream and you can think about it every day, but it means nothing if you don't implement that dream. So like you said, just sometimes you got to jump out there and do what you need to do. I'd absolutely, give the advice that you should take some of the proper steps once you make that decision of wanting to become a business owner. But absolutely live your dreams, because just thinking about it isn't going to get you where you want to get to. And I definitely can appreciate how you feel. Tell the listeners how we can get a hold of you.
You can reach me at my email, openheartopenhands8@outlook.com, or you can actually call me at 347-673-4359, or as you have, Kimberly, so graciously provided your platform with other women business owners, and you have mentored us, and I have to say thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You can reach out to me on the WSBI.
Absolutely, yes. And like she said, it's my pleasure. I love hearing the stories, and I think it's really important, like I was saying earlier, that as business owners and as women, period, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's so many resources out here. We should be able to reach out to each other in order to learn those resources and get what we need. And that's really what my platform is about, all the way from doing the membership programs to having the small business training programs to doing this podcast. All the things that I do, it's all about wanting to see other women become successful. And by doing that, we are great on our own, but we're bigger and we're better when we can work together. And that's something that I preach every day. And most people are probably tired of hearing it from me, but I think it's important because I'm always hearing the negative parts of what women don't do for each other, and I think we've come a long way, but we absolutely, there's definitely still some issues with that, and I'm trying to break some of that barrier, and I can't do it by myself. I definitely have to have you wonderful women behind and with me and stand up as a network, and us doing this all together to make the success that we want to have in our lives, and of course leaving a legacy for our children as well.
Yes, I definitely stand behind you. You definitely have my support.
Thank you. All right. So, do either one of you have any last words that you would like to say to listeners? Pastor
Ladies
Clarence?
first.
Okay. TinaMarie?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Pastor Clarence. I just want to say, Pastor Clarence, I know you've been very busy. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come down and be on the podcast with us as the gentleman. Kimberly, again, thank you so much. I would also like to say, again, the warmest thank you for you and what you're doing for us. And also, if you'd like, I'd love to extend a live focus group to you and the women of Ohio. I'm sure it would be a pleasure to come down to share the Now We Know campaign with you.
Absolutely.
And to the listeners, dream, implement the dream, be prepared, and apply.
All right, thank you so much. And actually, I'm from Davenport, Iowa, but I actually live in Alexandria, Virginia. So I'm here outside the DC area. So I'm a little bit closer to you now.
Wonderful. We'd still love to come see you. I'd love to meet you in person.
Absolutely, we can do that. Pastor Clarence, you have anything you'd like to say?
Well, first of all, thank you so much, ladies, for inviting me on this platform. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to share this space with you two powerhouse professionals. And to our listeners, I just want to encourage you, when it comes to going after your dreams, there comes a point in your life where you have to place a demand on the promises that God has for you. You have to grab life by the throat, choke it, and tell life you're going to give it up, and you're going to give it up right now. And you've got to have a no-nonsense, uncompromising posture that you won't settle for average, that you're willing to do what it takes to be successful. Because at the end of the day, whatever you have to go through, whatever hurdles you have to go over, whatever hills you have to climb, however many no's you have to go through to get to the yeses that are going to take you to the place that you're destined to be at, you've got to be willing to go through that, because that's your story, guys. Your story is your story. It's unique. It has its own set of challenges, circumstances, issues, and problems. And guess what? When you get to that place, you being able to give testimony of your story and how you overcame is not going to be just for you, but it's going to be for countless other folks. See, one thing I've learned in life, sometimes we have to be successful enough to where our success gives somebody else permission to be successful for themselves. So many times people are watching and waiting and listening and they get caught into this whirlwind of the monotonous, the mundane, the day in and day out, and they don't see a way out. But kind of like that movie, The Matrix, somebody's got to be the one. Somebody's got to be that Neo, that person that's going to get out there, take the bumps and bruises, pioneer the way, and then reach back and lift as we climb. So I just want to encourage all of you guys, stay true to your dreams, go after them. At the end of the day, you're the one that's going to make or break your dreams happening, not only in your life, but also spilling over into the lives of other people. And if you're interested in the Now We Know campaign, the Cherish products, the nutraceuticals, and Nspire Network, feel free to reach out to TinaMarie Rodriguez. You can also reach out to me. My email is team, T-E-A-M, pastor, P-A-S-T-O-R-C-L-T @gmail.com. I can also be reached at 404-348-69 If you've reached me, you've reached TinaMarie as well, because we work together like a dynamic duo. And I just want to wish you all much success and God bless.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate both of you for coming on tonight and sharing your story. It has been absolutely a pleasure, and I've learned so much about what's going on out here with this network. And again, I really appreciate your time. But for everybody else, I would like to say good night. I am here, though, every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. You can follow us on Spreaker. That is at www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. You can also follow me and find me anytime on the WSBI website, which is www.wsbillc.com. You can also visit me at Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. But until next time, have a good evening.
Take a look on my